we're going to get into moderators. Simply put, people in the chat room, understand something. There are going to be plenty of people on the show. Some people you may not like. All I ask is you guys to be respectful of one another. That's it. Be respectful of one another and respect the rules of my platform. Meaning, if you disagree with somebody, leave them alone. You don't have to talk to one another. You don't have to interact with one another. There are going to be women over here. There are going to be men over here, because I said it last week and I'm gonna say it again. This high value thing ain't gonna stop. So for the men who got their panties in a bunch, and at this point I'm starting to call the guys out. If you got your panties in a bunch, it ain't my fault that you don't like where you are in life. Fix it. It ain't my fault. You don't like where you are in life as a person. Fix it. But don't complain about the system. And one thing that I found out Friday is something I've always known, but I wanted everybody else to be able to see that the issue with high value is twofold for a lot of men. One, because they can't wish it. What's going on? 51 from San Diego in the house. Because they can't wish it. They just can't wish upon a star and make themselves high value. A lot of guys are in the mirror telling themselves, I'm the man, I'm the shit, I'm the this, I'm the that. But when they walk out the house, don't nobody know them. Don't nobody know them. And if they disappeared off the planet tomorrow, who would miss them? And that's what bothers a lot of men. Living a life of insignificance. And all I'm saying is recognize it and change it. Don't bitch about it. I'm seeing a lot of complaining and bitching on YouTube from chronologically grown men. So, one, a lot of the guys try to rejigger high value to include them when they haven't been that their entire life. It's like trying to get to your senior year in high school and all of a sudden decide you want to be the valedictorian. Well, you haven't done the work. The best you could do is graduate with honors. Number two, and arguably the least significant but the biggest problem was with money. I got news for you guys. $10,000 a month is the low number. Guys, there are people who make that in an afternoon. I know people on YouTube that make $100,000 in a day. I said Bella Thorne made $2 million just launching an OnlyFans page. So if you got a problem with $10,000 a month, you're not even going to fit into this conversation. There are only a couple of people that I talked to Friday that I actually seemed like they kind of got it. And it wasn't these people trying to make this broke argument, that moralistic, principled argument that has never been high value. High value separates itself from the pack. And that's what we're going to talk about. Because, see, what I realize is many men, and even into this degree, women, have an issue with some of these things because they are not satisfied with their current value. That's fine. So that's where we're going to go. Instead of just hammering the static concept of high value, we're going to talk about the dynamic thing about increasing your value.
I'm a PhD.
Turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up. You can do it.
As somebody made me I'm a PhD sound. And then the next thing is, increasing your value. That's what we're going to get on, increasing your value. See, you want to really see people at their worst, take their hope away. And I'm in my platform, I'm not about taking anybody's hope away, but I got to get into this. Appreciate you, fam. Profit over wages. I got to get into the program. Here's what I need you guys to understand as we go forward. If you don't like the concept of ranking, keeping score, this isn't the platform for you, because we're on the young men, young women increasing their value. We're on the, I want to talk to the hit squad, and I need to define some terms. You're going to hear me mention the term Henry a lot. Henry simply stands for high earner, not rich yet. And men and women can both fall into this category. Let's say a Henry, he's 25 to 28 years old, making about $70,000 to $85,000. That's good money anywhere in this country outside of New York City. You know what I'm talking about. 25 to 28 making $70,000 to $85,000. That's a high earner for his age, but he's not going to be rich on that. And the presumption is he or she, they're continuing to increase their income year over year. They're not just getting 3% raises. We're talking about people who are getting money in chunks, 10% increases. And who are the people that do this? People who are in sales, who can control their income, and people who are in professional standpoints. You don't get rich working for somebody else. Let me dispel you right this. And you don't get rich as an employee. You don't get rich as an employee. You make other people rich. The deal is, as an employee, you exchange your time, skill set, and expertise in exchange for their systems, their security, and their exposure. And if you were smart, you will go in and negotiate the highest money you could get and go in and learn the most you can about the business of what you do, and then leave and do it for yourself. You don't get rich as an employee. And far too many guys want to get rich as workers. Rich comes from ownership. And the very few professions outside of ownership allow you to make enough money to separate yourself from the pack. Law, medicine, sales. There may be some other ones in there, but that's it for the most part. So when you're a Henry, a high earner, not rich yet, how do you continue to increase your value? That's what we're going to be talking about. That's for the men. And for the women, the value equation is different. But for the most part, I'm going to be focused on this increase your value thing, 2 separate tracks, 18 to 34, and then 35 plus. And I'm going to lump the men and women into a group together. Men 18 to 34 have different motivations than men 35 plus. Over 35, you pretty much are where you decided to be. And if you're not willing to make some wholesale major moves post 35, get content and happy with where you are. All right. So if you type in all caps, you will get blocked. You don't get to type any more than like 10 characters in all caps. Understand something. Software developers. Okay. Well, let me say this. Law, medicine, tech, sales. That should cover enough. Law, medicine, tech, sales. Then on the, I break Henrys into 2 categories. My white collar, which is law, medicine, tech, sales, and then my blue Henrys. Blue collar men have the quickest way to becoming high value, not white collar, because you can get into ownership faster in blue collar. Skilled trade, electrician, plumber, HVAC technician, roofing, truck driver, But you cannot remain a solopreneur. You must build a business. You must build a business and then employ people. What is wrong with you folks calling me? I swear to God, here's the thing. I'm going to start keeping people's numbers who call me during the day, during my show. And I'm going to keep you down. I'm going to block you. I don't want to talk to you if you call me during my show. That's dumb. I'm sorry, but you calling me during my show, you're not somebody I want to talk to, work with, anything. Because it's just outright rude. So for the person who just called me, for whatever reason you called, understand, you broke protocol. And that is, and I'm gonna tell you honestly, guys, that's how the world goes. When you're trying to work your way up to high value, it's a lot about your social skills. Because the group acceptance is the quickest way for a guy who's got middle value to get to high. Somebody pulls you up. I would say the majority of guys who are high value have a story where somebody decided to pull them up and give them a shot. And they just looked at him and said, you look like you kind of got what it takes. Here's the thing. Blue Henrys. These are guys who never wear a suit to work. But it's not because they don't look good in a suit. They're just environments aren't suit driven. But these are my guys who can be in logistics, oil and gas, or the skilled trades, to name a few. Ownership happens quicker over here because you get into your subject matter quicker than in white collar. In white collar, you got to do a lot of shit jobs as a junior or an account executive and work your way up, dual tracks. But either way, there comes a point in white collar or blue collar where you have to leave the companies you work for. When I worked for Mobile, when I worked for MCI, who is no longer around, I cut my teeth in telecommunications years ago, and that entire industry evaporated. But the skills I learned there are continuing to pay dividends right now. So, what is the point of increasing your value? Because increasing your value does two things primarily for guys. You increase your opportunities and you increase your options. So thank you to the Godfather for giving tech a shout out. Yeah, because increasing your opportunities right now, there are people right now, the pandemic is making new millionaires. Because they can't go into the office and because they have a particular skill set that lends to them being able to work in this digital landscape and become more effective at a distance. So to all my introverts, understand something. If you listen to what I tell you and just learn some of the basic things about EQ, you can separate yourself from your coworkers and your competitors and fast track. That's what I did. That's what a lot of guys do. Okay. Let's get the likes up, man. 2,400 people in here. 2,500 people in here. We got to get it moving. What kind of sales jobs? Another thing, guys, I need to also explain something to you guys. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, you're going to have to pay for it. Don't send me an email saying, hey, I would love to pick your brain. I would love to talk to you. You're going to have to pay for my time. One of the key things in this whole high value thing is learning that you're going to have to sacrifice. Anywhere you go, you're going to have to invest in coaching. You're going to have to do crap jobs, work long hours, stop looking for the fast track, quick. You're going to have to worry about the long, slow, deferred gratification, all the things you hear, and anybody who's been successful will tell you a lot of these things. And trying to work around or do it for cheap or get over on somebody is the quickest way to make your name mud with people who could really help you. Because I will tell you, these guys talk. And if you think you're going to hustle somebody to like, oh man, nah. So here's the thing. High value. So stay on track. Henrys, high earners, not rich yet. That goes for men and women. And the difference between the Henrys and the previous generations were waiting to live life after retirement. These generations are wanting to live life now. The key is balance. The key is balance, in my opinion. You can still plan for the future and live a good life now. Because today, many people aren't getting married as early and they're not having as many kids. So it's different. But you got to realize the most important thing in high value is understanding time is the most important thing you have. Time is the most important thing you have. Money, resources, power, status, influence, network, gravitas. These are some components of increase. These are some components that you want to increase. Now, understand something. I'm an image consultant. And yes, I am a successful guy because I've tried many things and I've failed a lot. But as an image consultant, I deal in reality. Reality, outcomes. I don't deal in theory and what could happen. You notice that a lot on my show. I'm always talking about outcomes. Reality. I don't deal in what could be or what should be. I don't deal in principled arguments. So in my world, things are very black and white, which makes gray, which is what you see me wear a lot of times. Black, white, but most of the time you see me in a gray pinstripe suit. If you watch the Game of Thrones, I'm going to give you some ideas. Tywin Lannister, the House of Lannister, in the real world would have run that show. J.R.R. Martin made that show to where, or the book to where he died. In the real world, they would have been the Medicis. They would have been the Roosevelts, the Rockefellers. They would have gone on and on and on. So I'm going to go into the alternate universe for the Lannisters. And I'm going to make them black. Because I'm black. I'm going to make them black. And we're going to call them the Lancasters. No, we just call them the Lannisters. And they can still be white. It doesn't matter. But here's the point. Tywin Lannister was never trying to be the king. He was concerned about power. Power and influence. One thing that made Tywin powerful is he never sought the top job. Too many of you guys trying to be high value, you want to be the number one. You want to be a king, especially you black guys. You want to be the one out in front. And I'm sorry, the market gets to decide. The market gets to decide who's out in front, and there's only one lead singer. Look about the 5 heartbeats. Everybody's fighting over the microphone. No, you want to control. You want to own the studio and the music and the masters. Damn, own the microphone. There's always some new star. Be the hand behind the throne or the ear of power. Tywin Lannister would have gone on and on and on and on in the real world, and that's the OG. That's a truly high value man. You know how he's a high value man? Because even as crazy as Joffrey was, King Joffrey, when Tywin Lannister spoke, Joffrey shut his sadistic self up. Tywin Lannister was so cold that when Joffrey as king, I am the king and da-da-da-da-da-da, and going off and he said, I mean, he was roasting Tywin, right? He was capping on him. He was calling him all kind of sissies and fags and this and that and punks and wearing purses and all this other kind of stuff. And what Tywin Lannister said? I think the king is tired. That was it. I am not tired. I think the king needs some rest. And then his mother, the queen, the maester, jumped up. Every powerful person in that kingdom at that table moved on Tywin Lannister saying, I think the king is tired. Maester, maybe some essence of nightshade to help him sleep. Tywin Lannister put the king to frickin' bed. King had the mic right. Tywin understood power, and Joffrey understood power. And power lays where the people put it. Joffrey was the king, but nobody ever mistook what power was. So, Tywin Lannister. And in my version of Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister would not have gone to the Knight's Guard or the King's Guard. French toast that. He would have been right under his father, as he should have been, as an apprentice, learning how to do what he should have done. Remember when Jaime was in Tywin Lannister's tent and Tywin was skinning a deer or something like that? And he was saying, I need you to become the man you should have been. Jaime Lannister was born into a position of power and principle and influence, but he threw it all away. But in my telling of Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister will continue to move on. That's the guy who was born under a father who could teach him something. But I also need to move you into another world, the Littlefingers of the world. In my version, Littlefinger would have kept on living. In my world, Varys wouldn't have been snipped. In my world, you'd have had Jaimes, you'd have had Varys's, and you'd have had Littlefingers. And they all would have been high value, Henry's in training. They were all vying for the next step. And there were 3 different ways of doing that. There are multiple ways, but there were 3 different ways. Littlefinger trafficked in information. Varys trafficked in secrets. And Jaime was an accomplished man who actually had the outward trappings of power, but he still needed to learn some things. Now, in the real world, let's not get too far off that. So basically, this is how I think about things. Do you understand who Tywin is? You understand who Jaime was? You understand who Littlefinger and Varys? Those are the people who ran, what was it called? Westeros. Millions of people. King's Landing, 1 million people in that city, run by a handful of people. Like I said, high value men have always been with. Can non-select men be high value? Varys was non-select. You don't get much more non-select than no fun bits. But anybody want to dispute his value? I'm sorry, I missed Tyrion. My bad. Tyrion. You had Jaime, who had the jawline, but he didn't have the discipline. In my world, Jaime would have not gone to Kingsguard, but he would have had to stand back. But Tyrion was born the direct opposite, a dwarf with the mentality. And in my world, those two would have worked together to surpass Tywin. Because they wouldn't have gone and done the Cain and Abel. They'd have worked together. Jaime would have been the front man. Tyrion would have been the back, the guy behind. They loved each other as brothers, and they wouldn't have fought. They would have worked together to say, this is how we do this. No one will ever accept me as a dwarf and as an ugly little sawed-off dude as king, but I will be your hand. Brother, you will be the king, and we will run this shit. Not only will we run Westeros, we'll go take Easteros. We'll go make dragons. Why is this important? Because Littlefinger and Varys show you that you can increase your value. Tyrion and Jaime show you that even if you were born into it, it's not a guarantee that you're going to maintain it. It comes down to choices. So, increasing your value. Let me go very high level. For women, increasing your value. There are some things that are important for women. And one of the most important things for women is understanding that even though you're the queen, you're still the king's wife. Your value is in the ability to keep a high value man. I'm sorry that you don't like that. But that's how the world looks at it. And again, I deal in reality. You can be an accomplished woman, but if you're 40, unmarried, no children, the world looks at you as something's wrong. You are judged heavily on the caliber of man you can keep, not get, not deal with, but keep. So, career path. Some of the things that high value men tend to look for in women, they don't want women to compete with them. Rarely will you find a high value man that wants a power couple kind of thing. Sure, they may exist, but in general, if they exist, they're different. Most high value men want women to play the wife role, the feminine role. Or if she has a career path or a calling, it's something that she can do from home or from a home office. He doesn't want her out there up under another man's leadership. Let's just be real with it. So, ladies, are you doing anything right now that you're going to college for? You need to go. If you were going to college, go to college to get a degree in something that you can work a business from home. Accounting is a good one. Marketing is another one. Graphic design. What can you start a home-based business and make $50,000 a year at? Home base that you can make $50,000 a year at in your 20s. Figure that out. And while you're doing that, you need to make sure you have a level of sophistication. A sophisticated woman is a fantastic conversationalist. She engages and listens intently to others. She also listens more than she speaks. Listening more than you speak, sophistication, ladies, learn it. This will literally make or break you when involved or around high value men or IV men or hit squad. So IV movement, increase value movement, increase your value. So I'm going to just say hashtag IV. So increase value, but it's really increase your value. The IV movement. So we're talking about increasing your value. Ladies, increase your ability, increase your level of sophistication, increase your level of etiquette. Learn your way around the dinner table, around dinner parties, around any place or anything that men of the caliber that you want would be at or would live at. Learn these things. I've talked about being feminine, beautiful, inspirational. We already know that. But God, ladies, you also have to be two other things. You have to be fit and flexible. Fit and flexible. Flexible in your mentality, flexible in your attitude, flexible in your body. So, ladies, don't skip the yoga and the Pilates. Yoga, Pilates, cycling, swimming, all these things are your friends. Resistance training, strength. Men love flexible and fit women. Stylish and simple. Stylish and simple, ladies. Less is more. Knock off the outrageous colors, the outrageous makeup. Personally, I don't deal with any women that have wild color hair, really extravagant fingernails. I'm a French tip manicure dude. Yes, French tip manicure, light makeup, lip gloss. Very much a simple stylish. Thank you very much. Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, Tom Ford. Those are some brands. I'm not a Versace and those broad colors. Simple. Now, depending on the kind of man you want, you need to know what kind of woman he wants. But simple and stylish will always work for 80% of people. Well-spoken, no cursing. Ladies, get rid of all the foul language in your vocabulary. There's only one time a woman should say the word fuck. And it should be in the bedroom immediately followed by me. You should never say the word, I shouldn't even have to say these things. Cursing, a lady, no thank you. Nope, ever. Nope, none, zero, zip, zilch, nada. Not even amongst your girlfriends. Because it'll slip up in public. Foul-mouthed women lower their value. Because if you think Roger, if you think Brad, Lee, Ahmed, Keith, or Enrique want to have their woman out and about and someone hears her cursing like a sailor and they get back to him and his group, it's going to make him look bad. Again, you're about him. You'll make a bad look for him. Oh, you mean I don't have a life? No. Not if you want to be a high-value man's wife. No. Or long-term, whatever you call a long-term commitment. Tattoos. I'm not a big fan of tattoos, but tattoos need to be able to be covered in a formal. So, be able to be covered in a formal dress. So a lady should be able to go sleeveless and backless because she's flexible and fit, right? I would say that's for 90% of guys. There are about 10% of guys out there that fit in the category of men, 10% of a very small number of men. But I have to ask you, ladies, is having a half sleeve, even if it's the most artful thing done, is it important enough to miss out on a potential man? Because it's already a very small group. But even as we're talking about increasing your value, you decrease your value by marking up your body. I will tell you right now, I've seen women here in Atlanta that I was like, ooh, dang, she looks the part. And then I get up on her, and next thing you know, tattoo on your leg, on your back. I mean, even here on YouTube, there are women that I think are really attractive, but I'm like, dang, why would you get a tramp stamp across your lower back? I mean, that seemed cute when you had, but no, it's not cute at 40 years old. Probably want no tattoo on your 40-year-old back. All right. We're going to open it up, man. We need to get these likes up because if we don't, man, guess what we're going to have? Guess what we're going to have? Get my likes up. Y'all thought I was kidding, man. Only 1,000 likes? Are you serious? Get them up. Kick it. All right. Shout out to the Lancasters and the Yorks. That's right, buddy. All right. Let me see. Let me get down to the last question. Somebody asked, Lifestyle asked, how does one balance life and still attend to wifey? Well, wifey attends to you. Okay. How do you balance life and attend to wifey? Let me tell you, that's a misunderstanding that many of us have, especially if we're raised by our mothers. A wife is a helpmeet. She's attending to you. You are, I did a video and I'm going to do it this week. Can we both be the prize? No, you can't. Wives need to attend to their husbands. Women command time. No, they don't. Women are grateful for the time that they have with you. We are in very different positions. Call in. All right. So, and those are some basic things for ladies to increase your value. Any woman across any board should be able to benefit and increase her value by these things. Being well-spoken, real, no cursing. Some guys want women to be more well-read, more versed in current events. But generally, you want to be agreeable and easy to engage. When people are around you, people should feel light. Engaging and interacting you should not make a man feel heavy. All right, and then for men, some general bullet points for men. For men, first off, a lot of reason people are upset with this high value thing is because men and women are questioning their value, and because people are asking them value questions. That's why people are a little upset with this, because they're questioning their own value. Men are questioning their value. Women are questioning their own value. And honestly, people are starting to question, are you? And the thing is, if you're not happy with your value, you don't want to talk about it. But I would think if you're not happy with your value, talking about it should be the least of the problems. If you're not happy, do something about it. For men, one of the first things, in no particular order, but I will say one of the first things that man needs to get, they need to do two things at the same time. You need to get a group, a personal and a professional group. Successful men travel with successful men. One of the reasons I was able to ascend the way I did through corporate America is because I ascended with a group. I'm not going to say the people's names, but D, G, C, P, M, B. Those six people and I, 7 of us, went from company to company to company. And when one of us moved, we all moved. 7 people going at one target together. Rising tide lifts all boats. Stop being a lone wolf. When you work in a company, stop trying to be a lone wolf. And this is the problem. This is why so many of you will never raise your value. You're trying to do it on your own. You're trying to be Tesla, and you need to be Edison. You need to get a group. People like you. People want to do stuff for you. Being right, principled, and moral only makes you a loser if you don't have the other components. You can be right, principled, and moral and a winner. See, it's not an either or thing. That's number 2. Life is and. It's not either or. It's and. You need a group. You need a personal group and a professional group. Maybe those groups are the same, but generally they're different. And then you need a high value mindset. A high value mindset automatically goes looking for the hard path. It does not try to do the hard things, though. You don't go and try to reinvent the wheel. You take what's already working and you improve on it. How foolish would it be for somebody to sit back and say, hey, I see something that's working right now, but I'm going to do something completely opposite. Or would it make more sense to say, I'm going to take what's already working and improve upon that? That's what smart, working smarter, not harder. But see, this way feeds your ego. Oh, but you're going to have to check that ego, because you're not going to ascend higher. You're going to cap yourself at your ego, because there's a lot of eating shit you're going to have to do as you try to become a high value man. As you try to increase your value, there's a lot of eating shit, because you're going to have to sit in Atlanta in a Jamie position, in a Tywin position, in a Littlefinger position, in a Varys position to Tywin Lannister. You're going to have to sit in a Tyrion position. I'm sorry. You're going to have to shut up and do what Tywin says, even if you think he's wrong, because he's the man. And other groups seem to get this. And guys who can do this, who can learn to eat shit, shut up, tend to learn the EQ skills necessary to move up and deal with other men of value. Get a group, it's a mindset. Then there's also a fitness component. Guys, you got to be an athlete for life. You can't get to be 350 pounds, type 2 diabetes. Come on, man. You got to be a fitness. You got to get fit. You don't have to be a muscle-bound weightlifter, but you need to be fit, functional muscle. You need to add work, keep your core tight, flexibility, eat a healthy, balanced diet. There's a fitness component. there's also several things you need to master. You need some martial mastery. Dude, you need to learn how to get your hands and your feet calibrated. See, one thing I never really talk about is my martial arts background. But trust me, I learned early on that I'm going to have a lot of fights on my hands with guys. Early on, I realized that there were guys who were going to be upset with me, jealous of me, not liking me because I had I had curly hair, and women liked it because women liked me. Just put it right out there. Guys were going to be mad because women liked me and I was smart. So I wasn't just a good-looking guy and a dumbass. So I was smart. So I knew I was going to have a lot of jealous haters. So guess what? I started Taekwondo early. And I knocked several mother suckers out quick. So it got around that you ain't going to be punking me. I was thin, light in the ass, but I would knock you the fuck out. The word got around OKC real quick. Mess with him if you want to. He will beat your ass and take your girl. And ain't nothing changed. Why do you need martial mastery? First off, as the man, you shouldn't want anything you can't defend and protect. Number two, people are going to try you. And you don't want to end up getting yourself into a situation that you can't defend yourself. That you need a gun, some sort of weapon all the time. You're a punk. I listen to guys all the time. I'll cap you out this. You're a pussy. Straight up pussy. Men who really know how to take care of themselves aren't looking for trouble, but they know how to handle it. And that's what it comes down to. And there's a confidence that comes with knowing if I have to, I don't want to, but if I have to, I won't hesitate to make you puke blood. I don't go looking for trouble. I never have. You guys have heard me throw out that I was a bouncer before and I fought full contact, but I don't talk about it because I don't need to pound my chest about it. But even some of my friends in my real life have been surprised when they've gone around my martial friends and they realize, oh, you friends he knows this. My best friend from childhood, the first time he saw me fight in a tournament, he was like, he's like, I got better to stop talking shit to you. I was like, he was joking, but he was kind of serious because he was like, I never knew. I'm like, what am I do? Run around with a Daniel-san headband around doing jump spinning crescent kicks? That shit ain't real. Martial mastery. Because you need to be able to take care of yourself, number one. And number two, the sheer confidence that comes with knowing, all right, okay, say whatever you want, as long as you don't cross this line. And not having just the confidence that comes with that is hard to explain. The confidence with knowing that you don't have to bark loud. You can just say what you need to say and then just move through life. You don't even have to respond to everything. But if someone decides to test you and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can make them really pay for it. You're more concerned with them than you are with you. When you really master something, you're more afraid of what they're going to have to live with than what's going to happen to you. You may get punched or hit, but you're going to break something. Something's going to really be wrong with them going forward. And see, today people don't take butt whoopings like they used to. So walking and keeping yourself out of trouble, checking that ego that I said early on, is a big portion of becoming high value. A lot of guys deter themselves off value because their ego is out of control. They can't shut up. They always got to be right. They always want to fight, and they think they're the baddest, and they're not. And they stay in lower level stuff, and they never can ascend past their ego. Because the guys that are up here that would work with them are like, no. Hothead, troublemakers, bad for business. Mastery in something else. What are you a master of? When I was in sales, my goal was to become a top sales professional, President's Club. I wanted to be a top closer. A, B, C. Always be closing. I wanted to be so good that when my competitors from other companies realized that we were in on the bid, I wanted them to say, shit. Who's running lead on the account? Kevin Samuels. Shit. That's what I wanted. I wanted my competitors to know that if you're going up against me, I will kick your fucking ass. And you know what? It made them better and it made me better. When your competition is trying to hire you away, you've done something. What have you mastered? You cannot increase your value being average at your profession. You need to increase something that is valuable and useful to others. Being good at stamp collecting or Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon or 2K. Now, let me take 2K and the guards away. Because you can in esports. But in general, being good at something that's a hobby, it's not what I'm talking about. What is your chosen profession? And are you good? Are you a master at it? This is where you separate yourself from the group when you work for someone. When you work for someone and they say, well, no, here are the top accounts. This is an account we need to save. Assign that to Kevin. Here's an account. Here's a territory we need to open and gain market share in. And it's a difficult. We need to bring Kevin up from Dallas to do that. You know, we need to bring Kevin from Dallas to New York to take over this problem. Not to maintain it when it's working, when it's in the mud and fucking broken. We need this person. Woo, I'm getting excited. Because this is what it is. This is how you raise your value. Oh, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, yes, brother. Troop Doop Scoop. That was my dad. Okay. Raising your value. And these things always work. And then another thing. And this is where what you think of yourself matters. Affirmations. Affirmations. You have to tell yourself where I am right now ain't where I'm going to be. You got to remind yourself this is temporary. When you're getting up early doing shit jobs, this is temporary. When you're out working at Walmart or you're doing a shit job waiting tables in your city to make cash money to fund your side hustle that's turning into a real business. So you're leaving your job to go wait tables and everybody sees, well, wait a minute. You're waiting tables and you see people that you know and that you would have respect for and you got to go take the order. You want me to tell you something? Go have to take the order of a woman or a man that you would like to impress or a woman you would like to date. You looking good on Suit Saturday, walk by smelling like Rosia Dove and da. Then on Tuesday, she goes into the restaurant and you're her server. Can you walk out with your head up? Will you let that, how would that mess with you? If it does, go back to step 2. You need the high value mindset. Remember, I'm here for a reason. And it's short term. It doesn't define you. So why is this important? Because the things you have to do along the way don't fuck with you. Oh, man. Woo. Woo. So I laugh when people talk shit about me because I was like, you ain't, don't say it. The things you have to do along the way are a testament to how strong you really are. See, weak men couldn't do it. The ego would fuck with them. The pride would fuck with them. They couldn't let nobody see them looking bad. What? Go work at this after. You want me to go to my job from 8 to 5, looking this way, and then you want me to go after work to put on the uniform? What? Oh, no, man. I want the money, and I know it'll be short term, but, I couldn't have nobody see me doing that. You ain't ready. You ain't ready. That's why being high value is so damn important. It's so valuable because all the things that come along with it, it ain't the money. It's not the flash. It's not the gravitas. It's not this. It's the things that it took for you to make yourself something. You are not born high value. You make yourself high value. You make yourself the man. Made men.